So nobody's going to be jumping for joy over the just released Tesla earnings. However, there's plenty of optimistic information in there. You just have to go looking for it. And apparently the folks in the after hours bidding on Tesla stock have seen some optimism because, at least so far, the stock is up in the after hours after being down 5% earlier today. Let me put the 5% down earlier today in context also. The NASDAQ was down 1.75. So Tesla could normally have been down 3.5 to 4%, regardless of earnings expectations, people trying to get ahead of it, whatever. So it wasn't down that much more than it might have already been down on such a very down day for the overall market. I think the Dow was down 300 points or something. So anyway, this is Randy Kirk. Hit like and subscribe and notify. I will have Larry Goldberg on here right after the earnings report. He and I will sit down probably for a half an hour or so. Then it'll take another half an hour to actually produce and get it up. So whenever the earnings call is over, probably 3:30, an hour later, maybe a little more than that, we should have our in-depth analysis, which we will not take the rest of the afternoon to be figuring out. Okay, let's take a look. What actually happened here? All right, let's take a look at what was important. Okay, you know what I was looking for. I was looking for the margins. Well, the margins, including the regulatory credits, dropped from 18.2 to 17.9, but there was an increase in regulatory credits. So the actual margins came in almost a point lower than I would have anticipated. And it's really easy to see because the cost of the revenues per vehicle, the average selling price came down almost $1,500 on the vehicles, and the average cost of goods sold came down $500. So you can see right away that the margins definitely contracted. So I'm very surprised by this. I'm not sure whether we'll find out in the earnings call why aren't the costs coming down actually faster when we know that the battery costs are coming down so fast. The operating margin was down only to 7.6. Now that's a good number in the automotive industry, but it does lower the amount that Tesla can really play with the pricing. It gives them a little less pricing power going into the fourth quarter. They did come in at 66 cents on the earnings. That means everybody missed. I mean, the lowest I think I saw was 70 cents. I was at 84. Other people were in the 90s. 66 cents was, I think, lower than anybody. I don't think anybody got it. But that was partially due to something good news. There was a lot more money spent on research and development, and so that affected the overall earnings as well as the actual earnings per share. All right. So where are the good news? Okay, let's talk about the good news. Okay. Let's start with an announcement that the Cybertruck will, in fact, begin shipping on November 31st. I would have never picked that date. After Thanksgiving weekend, that's when they're going to start shipping, and it will be at Austin. So I guess there'll be an event. That would be certainly the expected thing. Maybe they'll talk more about that in the earnings call. But anyway, that date is a hard date. That was given in the information that was passed out today. All right, number two. So it was very good news. That was something that was very important if we're going to make progress. If the stock is going to move up, there was three things I was looking for. I was looking for better margins, but I was looking for a reconfirmation of the 1.8 million that came in. We got the reconfirmation of the 1.8 million. I was looking for a reconfirmation of 50% year-over-year growth based on the year 2020 at 500,000. We got that reconfirmation, again, with the caveat that it would be more some years and less other years, but that was reconfirmed, so that was good. We had yeah, those were the two I was looking for. Those. Oh, and the Cybertruck announcement. So we got three of the four things that I was looking for in terms of the stock continuing to move up as the bull market moves up. I am now not 100% clear. I think I'm going to back a little bit off from my 300 though, because the margins were missed by such a great. The miss was big. and the earnings per share, the miss was pretty big. So I'm going to back off of that, but I do think we will still be at 275 and growing by the end of October. 275 is my new number, not 300, and that we still will be looking at as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, and we're starting to see some of these things happen. The Cybertruck's actually shipping, maybe some more information on Optimus. Oh, there was an announcement with regard to Optimus that they are currently training them to do simple tasks. But that was all that was in there. Maybe we'll learn more in the call. I certainly would love to hear more in the call about that. So yeah, so as we move closer to the end of the year, I still think the 300 to 350 range is there. And I still do believe that if we continue to get that 50% year over year number, and if in the fourth quarter earnings call, they do say that they do expect to be in the 2.5 million range for the year, and Cybertruck is doing well, I still think we will hit all-time high by the end of December. So I'm not changing that, just moving back a little bit on the end of October because this is a pretty big miss. All right, let's see if there's anything else. The reduced cost per vehicle, I mentioned that. They do have now 26 billion in cash, so that's pretty good. They had I think I'm not sure how much the free cash flow was for the quarter, but they got that's really pretty good. And they have inventory still sitting at 16 days, so that's normal. And they've completely eliminated, or almost completely eliminated, the special shipping process of shipping things out early based on getting the most out of a quarter. So that's been flattened out almost 100%. Another little bit disappointing, they gave some information on expectations for next year in terms of the different factories. They say Shanghai is maxed out, and they will definitely ship as many as they can out of Shanghai, but they didn't give any information on improving or increasing. They said that the Model Y would continue to ramp slowly in both Berlin and Austin. I would have been looking for more than just slowly, but what does slowly mean? No idea. They did say that 4680 continues to ramp within expectations. I think it's way behind, but that's okay. But they say it's on plan. They are saying that they didn't hear anything about Fremont, but Fremont's pretty much at capacity. Although maybe they'll get a few more Model 3s out of Fremont later. They did mention, of course, that a lot of what happened in the third quarter had to do with all the shutdowns and the revamps and the upgrades and expenses contributing to expenses coming from the Cybertruck. A lot of these will not be repeating. So let's see, I think I left out another big one. Okay, another big positive. This is really big. This may be why it's up a bit after hours, except besides all the announcement, of course, about Cybertruck. A 24% gross profit on energy. Now, remember, that includes solar. Now, solar numbers were down, so that's a bad thing. But energy numbers were up 90% and a 24% gross profit, even though solar's got to be lagging and hurting those numbers. Anyway, that was a real piece of good news. So I think I've covered all of it. Come back or put notify so you get notified. I did look at the stats the other day, and the number of people that use notify is right in line with other YouTubers. So thank you very much for using the notify. Thank you very much for also, I'm right in line with regard to the number of subscribers compared to the number of people that are watching the channel. So all of that is right in line. Thank you very much. I have been getting a lot of orders the last couple of days since I started making the offer, in particular, the folks that are outside the United States. So I'm going to go over that offer again right now. So these are $25 a piece. My deal is I would do 2 for $45. That's domestically, no freight. Okay. 3 for $120. Is that right? Yeah, $120. 4 for $140. Now, those are domestic. Okay. And then, of course, if you get to 10, it would be 10% off of whatever, 25. So $22.50 a piece. 10 would be $225 domestically. Okay, I'll just make that clear. Now, for export or for outside the United States, where you normally have to pay an extra $20 just for the freight. So on one, there will still be that $20. If you buy 4, the freight goes away and I'll give you a $10 discount. So $90 for 4 outside the US. All right. And then if you do even more, let's say you want to get up to like 10 or something, we will definitely eliminate the freight and we'll do in fact, we'll do the $22.50 just like we would in the US, but I'll even eat the freight on the exports on the 10. I think, yeah, and I'm eating the freight on the $90 on the 4. Okay. So anyway, apparently those are really good deals because the orders have been flowing in quite nicely. Thank you. There was one order from Canada that I came in someplace like in the, or it was talked about that never became an order. If you're in Canada and you wanted to place an order and you've not heard back from me, not had any kind of conversation with that anymore, that's because somewhere that information got lost. So please hit me up again on that Canada order. I think it was for 4 pieces. Anyway, but thank you so much for all the other orders. Anyway, see you guys later this afternoon. We will talk about the, with Larry Goldberg. We're going to have Larry in to really go over this in detail and see why we all missed and what we might want to be thinking about for next time that might get us closer to the numbers. It's Randy Kirk, and it's been great talking to you.